in verse 6, right on back over again. In verse 6, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily in him and rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or mother what he had done. He went down and talked to the woman, and she pleased Samson well, and for a time he returned to take her aside to see the carcass of a wat. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion, and he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and gave them, and they did eat, but he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the wat? Carcass of the lion. So what did he do? He touched what? A dead body, an unclean thing. You see? He had unclean thing. Not only was this the road to the prison house a road of disobedience, but it was a road of disappointment. You see? Judges 14 verse 1 through 3. If you were to look there, you see it says, and Samson went down to Timnath, which he should have stayed away from, and saw a woman of Timnath, of the daughters of what? The Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman. That's his problem. The word seen. Flesh. I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her to me to wife. Then his father and mother said unto him, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people? For thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines. So his wife was a Philistine. You see? He went after her. He has a problem there, I believe. He does. See, it was a road of disappointments. He failed to tell his parents that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the dead lion. He marries here into the family of the enemy, so to speak. So we see that. But then we also see Samson did some things, and Samson enjoys riddles, doesn't he? Look at Judges 14, verse 12. Judges 14 and verse 12. And Samson said unto them, I will put forth a riddle unto you, if ye can certainly declare it me, that within the 7 days of the feast and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if you cannot declare it me, then you shall give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, put forth thy riddle that we may hear it. And he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. You see? He was like that. He enjoyed riddles. Nothing wrong with it, except it was for the wrong reasons sometimes. Sometimes he would carry out a little mischief. Y'all remember the story? Look in Judges 15, verse 3. Flip over the page. And in verse 3, the Bible says, and Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught how many foxes? And took the firebrands and turned tail to tail and put a firebrand in the midst of the two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines and burn up all the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and the olives. So somebody might argue that he might have a little bit of mischief in him by the way he did things. Why didn't he just go and set fire to it is what I'm asking. You see? Why didn't he strike a match or a stick or something and set the thing on fire? I mean, imagine the foxes tied tail to tail just turning around and slinging fire everywhere as they're burning up themselves. See, he had so much potential as a judge, but he failed to live up to that potential because of his selfishness and being self-centered. See, in some ways he was a disappointment because it's like the army, be all you can be. Is that right? He wasn't all that he could have been. You see, not only here do we see the road of the prison house was a road of disobedience, a road of disappointments, but it's a road of depravity. You see? See, Samson had a female problem. He married outside the children of Israel. He even, I believe, in Judges 16 verse 1, sought after a harlot. Look there. He did. Chapter 16 and verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza and saw, and there's his problem again. That's why he's going to have his eyes put out, because right now he's blind spiritually. Saw there an harlot and went in unto her. You see? In the end, it was his women trouble that caused him to be destroyed. His passion overcame his reason. His passion for the lust of the flesh. See, he was a very strong man. I believe, if the stats are correct, he killed over 1,000 men. He carried the gates away from the city. He overcome his captors. He broke the bands sometimes in his life. He did many amazing things. But like I said, he was strong in stature, but weak when it came to the flesh. It was also, not only was this place, the road to the prison, a road of disobedience, of disappointments. Not only was it a road of depravity, but it was a road of death. See, Samson lived his life littered with dead bodies of his enemies, but most of it did not kill in the name of Israel, but for himself, to boast himself. Well, see how strong I am. You see? Look in chapter 14, verse 19, going back to settling that debt there. Look at verse 19 of chapter 14. Chapter 14, 19. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down into Ashkelon and slew how many men? 30 men, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them, which he expounded the riddle. Going back to that for a second. And his anger was kindled, and he went up into his father's house, but Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. You see? Not only was it a road of death, but it was a road of disaster. Samson's life was a disaster at this point. One thing happening after another. His parents were brokenhearted. His family was humiliated. His wife was given to another man that the Bible says used to be his friend, or he used as a friend, as the Bible says. The name of God, the testimony of Israel were all damaged in the eyes of those who were looking, the heathen. You see? Samson suffered what he did in the end because of how he lived his life. You see? Of how he lived his life. I think we need to be reminded. There's a song, I've got friends in low places, right? The Bible says be careful of that. Samson's a good story of that. You see? Even describing the fact that he said used him as a friend. You got to read it carefully. The Bible said used him as a friend, correct? I think we need to be reminded that low living carries a high price tag. Sometimes we fail to live up to what God has saved us to be, then we have a problem. We fail every day. I raise both hands and feet. But we need to think about this phrase. I saw this phrase and I had a time. We need to live, or try to live as best we can, as to what God saved us to be. Because all of us in here have a ministry of some sort. Every one of us in here. You know, I thank the world for people like Sister Darlene, who travel all over the world still trying to help put churches out, put the gospel out, trying to help people. You see, all of us, we have a ministry. Whether it be doing a wonderful job of cleaning this church building, that's a ministry, that's a calling. Our church looks nice, in case y'all hadn't noticed. I mean, Yang Chang over here, whatever this piano's called, is shining. I can see my reflection in it. I don't want to look at myself. But I can see my reflection in it. All the way for everybody in this room, if we're saved, we have our own ministry. Now that doesn't mean that women necessarily can get in the pulpit, but we all have a ministry or a calling that we need to move forward. You see? We did. Number two, the realities of the prison. Well, let me tell you something. It was a place of losing. Samson threw away everything in his prison.